had some friends who lived, well, they didn't live in front of us, but their parents had a store, two white boys, and they were my inseparable playmates for the early years of my life. And I remember when I was about 6, something started happening. When I went over to play with them, they always made excuses. They could not play, they were busy. And finally, I went to my mother with this problem, and she tried to explain to me in the best way she could explain to a child 6 years old. And this was really the first time that I became aware of the racial differences, or rather the racial problem. She made it clear to me that this system had a long history, dating back to the time of slavery. She tried to explain the meaning of the system of segregation. But the thing I will always remember is that in the midst of her explanation, she always said to me, "You must never feel that you are less than anybody else." On the one hand, my mother taught me that I should feel a sense of somebodyness. On the other hand, I had to go out and face a system which stared me in the face every day saying, "You are less than, you are not equal to." So this was a real tension within. Well, I do feel that nonviolent direct action is a most powerful approach in seeking to bring about racial justice. Now, to a degree, we have moved in this area. The Montgomery bus boycott was a limited move in this area. The sit-ins that have engulfed the whole South over the last few months would be another move in this direction. This is nonviolent direct action. Also, the freedom rides. I think all of these things are certainly serving to speed up the process. And I think the more we delve deeper into these particular areas, the more we will be able to bring about at least a speedier solution to the problem. It is difficult at times to convince people that this is the best way. And I guess it is difficult for all of us not to retaliate. But on the whole, I have been amazed at the tremendous response that we have gained when we have called for nonviolent action. I look back over Montgomery and think of the fact that for all of these days, 381 days, more than 99 and 9/10% of the Negro citizens participated in the boycott. They confronted harassing experiences, they confronted physical violence, and never did they retaliate with a single act of physical violence. And the same is true of the student sit-in movement, which included thousands of students. Not a single, well, I would say very few, retaliated with physical violence. So that even though it is difficult, I think we have been able to get this method over in a most significant way. Well, I can only say that the United States is home for me. I was born there, and in spite of its shortcomings, naturally there are things in the United States that I love and people that I love. I think we have a great tradition ideally. The Democratic Creed is a marvelous one. And my work is simply an attempt to say to America that you have a marvelous ideal and you should live up to it. And so when the students sit down at lunch counters and I have decided to join with them, I felt that we were in reality standing up for the best in the American dream, and certainly the best in the dream of all mankind for peace and brotherhood. So I live there with the feeling that we are moving in the right direction, and with the feeling that this problem can be solved in the United States if enough people give themselves to it, if they devote their lives to breaking down all of the barriers that separate men from men on on the basis of race or color.